How's everybody doing? And welcome to the fish room. Today is going to be part 3 of our series of our line breeding. We have 2 tanks behind me here, so let's go ahead and we'll jump right into the video and take a look at what's going on. So here's the 2 tanks we're growing out the guppies. One tank is male, one tank is female. If you haven't watched parts 1 and 2, I do recommend checking those out. I'll try to put some cards above here. If not, you can check down in the description and I'll have some links below, or you also can just watch the guppy line breeding playlist. But over here, just real quick to kind of clarify what's going on here. All this over here is just cycled media, or media I'm trying to cycle. It's not there for a specific reason, just kind of if you guys notice that. And these tanks don't typically get a light. They kind of just get the lighting from the room. The guppies don't need any special lighting unless you're trying to grow plants or anything in the tank. So I just kind of had the light on there for seeing the fish today. But that's kind of just obvious stuff. Figured I'd mention it up front. But let's go ahead. We have a male tank over here and a female tank to the right. So right now these guppies are about 5 to 6 months old, which are definitely plenty old enough to breed. If anything, they're starting to get a little bit older. You could have done it around 3 to 4 months. But one thing I'm doing in the fish room, just kind of a side note, but I do need to clarify on it. I'm running all my tanks a little bit cooler. I'm almost around like 74 degrees, which definitely if you're trying to like breed fish for profit, not ideal. You want to get these guppies around 78 degrees, almost 80 if you want to breed them and have them grow a lot quicker, but they will not live as long also. It just kind of speeds the whole metabolism up. You can feed them more frequently. The fish will definitely grow a little bit quicker, but right now I'm kind of just, I'm in no rush, kind of slow and steady. I'm trying to keep my fish room a little bit cooler, and it has taken these guppies a lot longer to get bigger. And they are still not as big as I'd like, even though I think it's just their genetics. They're not getting any bigger than they are now. But these guppies are about 5 to 6 months old. So now it's a time where we need to go through. This is the male tank here, and the female tank is to the right. This is the time where I'm going to go ahead and separate all the guppies in the 2 containers, males and female. We're going to take a close look at these fish, see things that we don't like and things that we do. Before we even do that, I am going to say this isn't the best guppy strain I've ever had. Definitely have a couple of things I'm a little concerned about, but this is the whole process of line breeding, whether this is a success or kind of a failure. I do want to show you guys this because it's been 6 months since we started this video, so I want to just kind of update you guys, not leave a cliffhanger on this video. I do want to kind of follow up with this individual project because I've done this for a long time with multiple different strains of different guppies. Sometimes you have really nice strains, sometimes you don't have the best strain, so it's something you need to work on over generations, improve and kind of crossbreed, or maybe just kind of start from scratch and start all over. But I'm going to go ahead, we'll catch out the females on the right here, and then also the males, and we'll go ahead and take a close look, and we'll kind of pick out our pairs or our trio from there and continue this video in the series. Okay, so here we have all of our females from the right tank that we caught out. One thing that is nice about waiting as long as I did, and to be honest, I waited this long because my tanks are cooler, the fish are growing slower, and as you guys know, things have just been kind of crazy recently, so I did kind of put some things off. But a really good thing to kind of make sure, if you wait a little bit too long to separate the males from the females, say you're separating around 3 months and you're worried about the males breeding with the females, go ahead and wait those extra few 2 or 3 months. See if the females have any babies in the tank, see if they are pregnant. If you see no babies, then you're good to go. Also, if they do have the babies, they kind of can flush your system out. People say females can carry their eggs for multiple batches of babies or even their entire life, but it definitely gets more diluted every time you kind of let them breed with a new male. So that's another reason you can wait a little bit longer if you're unsure. But here we have 4 females. They all look pretty good. Things I'm going to look for now is the color in their tail. So maybe get the nicest color, maybe the roundest tail. Looking up to the top here, a couple of them do have more of a rounded shaped tail versus the others have a little bit, just kind of like this one has a little bit less color in its tail. It's not as round at the end, but they all look nice and healthy. They're nice and fat. Next thing we'll do is kind of look at their back and the shape of their body, make sure they're not kind of crooked at all, if their face is sitting up more, if their eyes are kind of different coloration. That's something we can look at. That 3 of these females have black eyes, and one kind of has like a normal eye with a pupil. I guess you could say the one to the right does, and the rest have a solid black. So some people breed for one or the other. There's things you can look at, whatever you like best. Last thing is you're gonna look above and kind of check out their bodies from the above view. But I'll go ahead, I'll take a close look at these guys. That's kind of a personal opinion. There's some things that are very obvious. You wanna make sure they're not pinched fins, swimming funny, anything very obvious. But overall, these aren't like the best females ever, but they're all acceptable in my eyes to breed. But I'm gonna go through, probably pick out the nicest 2 or 3 of these, and then we'll go ahead and pick out the nicest 1 or 2 males. So let's go ahead, we'll jump forward. I'll separate these guys because there's nothing too crazy here, nothing crazy to pick from. A couple of them, their backs are a little bit more crooked than the others, so we'll go through there and pick out the nicest ones. But let's jump forward, we'll get the males out because there's definitely a lot of picking through for the males because we have a lot more, and to be honest, we have a lot more problems with the males. So we'll go ahead and put a couple of these in the community tank, and then we'll take 1 or 2 for breeders, maybe 3, and then we'll go ahead and grab some males. We're gonna jump to the males, and this is, to be honest guys, where I'm not very happy with this project. There's a lot of males in here where it's almost hard for me to pick a breeder male out of this group. They're all nice fish, they have good color, they'd be great pets for a tank, but the biggest thing here is we have a lot of problems from like a breeder's aspect where their tails aren't shaped the right way, they don't really carry their bodies the right way. They're all healthy for the most part. A couple of them kind of swim a little funny, but as the aspect of having like a parasite or an actual disease, there's nothing really wrong with them in that aspect. But as you guys are looking right now, there's nothing here that kind of stands out like that's a really nice fish. So this might be the point in time where if you're line breeding and you're doing this might be the time to start crossbreeding. Maybe get a new male to mix with your females. Maybe you just start from scratch and get a whole nother strain of guppy or whatever fish you're working with. But we are going to take a close look while we're already doing the whole series. But this is kind of more of a learning thing. This is probably, I know I keep losing camera focus. I apologize because I'm kind of focusing on the fish, not my phone or like my camera here. The nicest male I would probably say is this one right here. He has the biggest body, the strongest body. As for the females, I put 3 of her here aside. The 4th one went into this kind of community breeding tank because she's still nothing wrong with her. She's healthy. But these guys are all, they were on a lower tank, so it was a little bit cooler in the fish room because everything's heated by the room. But I picked the 3 largest ones. One was the one with like the different eye, and the other 2 had the solid eye that were a little bit larger, the nicest color. For the males, we're gonna go similar aspect. We wanna go, so say you had nothing else, you have the last fish in the world, you have to breed these fish, you wanna make them better over time, working with what you have. So here, we're gonna go for the straightest back and the biggest body. So the first one I pointed at, I think it's still gonna be the same fish. This male over here, I think it's this guy right here. Yeah, so he's got the nicest body in my opinion, the biggest body, still has good color. His back's still a little crooked, but it's probably the straightest out of all of them. Like this one right here would be a very bad choice to pick because his tail is just kind of pinched. He can't hold his body very well. He may not even breed with the females if you put him in with them. So we're gonna go for the biggest male here with the nicest tail, the most spread out tail. And that is by far this guy right here. So this is a project. I've done this multiple times, obviously with more success, but this is one of my tanks where I had some mutt guppies and they kind of had some babies all at once. So we separated the babies, we grew them up. Just kind of a great opportunity to do some examples here. I really wish I had a better example of a better strain, but I think this kind of serves the purpose of the video. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna separate the males. We can put these in other tanks, we can sell them, we can give them away. If you're doing a lot, maybe you'll feed them to larger fish, you'll call them. I mean, if you have some, like we have a male in the back here that never even got to his full size. Nice looking guppy, nothing wrong with them. But if you're trying to breed fish, it's not something you want to kind of make more of and make more problems over time. You don't want to hurt any fish, especially if you're a hobbyist and a breeder. But you also don't want to create hundreds of more bad, unhealthy fish that have problems swimming for their whole life. So that's kind of the way I look at it. You're looking at the fish as a whole, the whole tank as a system versus every individual fish. So I'm gonna go ahead and separate that male right there that we've been pointing out. Put them with those 3 other females. At this point, you can kind of choose to let them breed for about a month, separate the females and let them have like a drop tank, or you can kind of set up a tank like this over here where you have tons of plants, tons of hiding places for the babies. Let them kind of just breed in that tank and have their babies, let the fry hide. Or you can do even this, something like this might be a little bit too big. You might want to put those guys in like a 10-gallon tank for a while, which is what I'll be doing down there, the 1 male and 3 females. Maybe let them breed for a month or so, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Then bring them up, put the females or all of them in a bigger tank with lots of hiding places where they can drop their fry. Or do the same thing in a smaller tank. The smaller tank allows them to breed more frequently or easily. Sometimes a male can't catch up with the females, depending on how big the tank is, how much your flow is. A lot of different variables, and this is dependent on the type of fish you're breeding. Larger tanks typically is no problem, but sometimes it'll take a little bit longer. If you have a guppy with a really big tail, the males are a certain strain, they can't even kind of catch up with the females in certain tanks. So smaller tank is sometimes better for that, but a bigger tank is better for pregnant or gravid females that kind of have their fry in and not eat the fry. So that's all different options, but this is kind of a part 3, checking in on our fish. They're about 5 or 6 months old. I do wish they were a little bit better backs and better tails and a little bit bigger, but this is a certain strain we worked with. It's just kind of a mutt guppy. We're starting from scratch. Say you bought fish from the pet store, you don't know what you have. You threw some fish together, you got some babies, and then you separate the babies and you're starting your first line breeding. So that's kind of what this whole project is, the whole series, whether it's good results that are awesome or bad results, which sometimes you learn more from the bad results than the good results. So thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't already checked out series videos 1 and 2, I will put those in the end card right here. Check out some of my order videos, check out some of my playlists. Thanks for watching, guys. If you made it to the end, give me a thumbs up, comment below. I do appreciate you guys watching the videos, and definitely subscribe and check along for any new videos coming out. I like to do lots of fish room tours and kind of updates on the fish room. So thanks for watching, guys. Once again, make sure you like and comment below. We'll check out some of our tanks in these videos in the future. Hopefully this is helpful and you guys are enjoying the series, and hopefully you guys are staying safe. But have a good one. I'll talk to you guys very soon.